The Importance of 5 Aagnas, Part 2.
It's a file. Clear it with equanimity. If the file is settled, then no one can stop us from attaining ultimate liberation. And in a population of 9 million people, not everyone is a file. There are hardly 2,000 or 3,000 that you interact with. Hello, how are you? Are you doing all right? And from these, there are only 3 or 4 that are sticky files. There may be one in the family, one in the business, one at home, and one in our neighborhood. So there are 3 or 4 such sticky files that when we meet them, we end up having abhorrence towards some and illusory attachment towards some. But if we have made a strong resolve, I want to win over this file by clearing it with equanimity, then sooner or later it can be won over. If we decide that I absolutely want to take adjustments and clear this file with equanimity, then no matter how obstinate or stubborn the file is, even if he speaks harshly, we maintain the understanding within that no matter what happens, I want to settle my karmic account with equanimity. For example, if we have a train to catch at 11 o'clock, and if someone from the family comes over at 8 o'clock and says, "You are like this, you are like that," now, if we need to leave the house at 9, then what would we do? We would say, "You are absolutely right. Your point is correct. I will be careful. It is my mistake. It is human to err. Please forgive me." This is because we know within that if I argue, I will miss my train. So, in whichever way possible, "Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir." Don't people say to get it over with? Such are these worldly interactions. Clear this one lifetime in whichever way possible, by pleading or persuading, whatever it takes, it's worth clearing it. Everyone loves to be respected. If we treat him with respect, then he will say, "It's all right, but be careful next time. Just fix your mistake." He will forgive you. The one who is the humblest of all can do all kinds of drama. However, if we are filled with pride and ego, do whatever you want. Then there shall be such a tug of war that we will miss the train. It is not worth missing the train to ultimate liberation. The main point is, decide to clear the files with equanimity. We are stuck here just because of these 5 to 25 files. The rest of the files are not obstructing us. The entire world is not causing an obstruction, nor is the home obstructing us. There are 1 or 2 sticky files that obstruct us. Do lots of pratikraman for that file. See only the pure soul in him. See him as flawless. No matter what happens, I want to resolve it. For example, if there is a debt of 500,000, then once the 500,000 are repaid, then no one will come asking for it again. This is how we want to finish our karma. The more we understand the importance of the Aagnas, by following the Aagnas, our karmic accounts of this world will come to an end. And further, we permanently want to go to Mahavidya Kshetra. Once these files are cleared, then nobody can stop us from going to Mahavidya Kshetra, to Lord Simandar Swami. It is possible for us to attain the clear and distinct experience of the pure soul in this lifetime. And the next station of absolute knowledge and final liberation will come there, from Mahavidya Kshetra. And from there, we will attain ultimate liberation. So this is the way. The Aagnas are the one and only support that we have, based on which we can do as much spiritual effort as we want to progress on the path of attaining liberation. Because the Aagnas are not for the relative self, they are for the real self. The real self has the ability to do the spiritual effort. Until we believed I am Chandubai, till then we had the wrong belief that I am the body. We were in the realm of the relative self. Now the relative self has been separated, Chandu has been separated, and the I has become the pure soul. The I, the part that has become the pure soul, is called the self. The knowledge is called the self. It is the real spiritual effort. In doing the real spiritual effort, there are no circumstances that can cause an obstruction. The relative self is not such that it can create an obstruction. No matter how wrong things go, even then we should understand, these things went wrong by Chandu, it is not me. Ask him to do pratikraman. When you make him do pratikraman, then it will get washed off. If the best result comes, people say, "It was a great thing you did, you are so helpful, and you rendered such selfless service." Even then, we understand it is Chandu who did it. It is a result of scientific circumstantial evidences. In this manner, we don't want to indulge in pride or the pleasure of doership. Similarly, in insults, we don't want to become sad and go into suffering. We want to remain in Jnana. We want to finish our karma off in this manner and become free. We can become free only through these Aagnas. The Aagnas can keep us free from all sorts of miseries. That is a guarantee. The Aagnas are not for the relative self, they are for the real self. As we increase our spiritual effort, the suffering won't touch us. That is a guarantee. The bliss will remain. That is also a guarantee. So the only goal worth setting is, I want to master the Aagnas. Every day, pick one Aagna and follow it for the rest of the day. Even if you follow one Aagna for a month, then you will gain the experience. Last year, every day in Adalaj, we focused on the relative and the real. We continued this for a whole year to bring it into practice. Currently, we are working on the results of abhorrence, dislike, contempt, and negativity. Get rid of that. We shall deal with attachment later. Then there is the Aagna of Vyavasthit, file. If we take one Aagna and go at it for a day or a month or a year, and if we learn to master it, if the Aagna is mastered, then we will become the form as the self. The inherent nature of the self is to continuously know. That is our original intrinsic nature, and we want to achieve that state. The doer and the sufferer, the ego and mindness is the intrinsic nature of the ignorant state. Our Aagnas help us become free from this state and to come into the state as the knower. The more we follow the Aagnas, that much we shall become the form as the self. So wherever we miss it, we have to reset it again. We made the firm resolve, I want to remain in the Aagnas today. Then at night, whenever there is free time, maybe in the afternoon, at night, or in the evening, check where were the Aagnas missed from morning till now, and reset them. The subtle part to this is, in what way must Dada be seeing the real and the relative? What must be Dada's understanding of a file? How must he be observing Vyavasthit? We want our vision to grow to the level of the Jnani's vision. Whatever we are understanding, I am indeed seeing the pure soul. No, let's not put a full stop there. Let us leave a comma there. How must Dada be seeing it? I want to see it like that. What is Dada trying to say? First, what is it that Dada is trying to explain at our level? How does he want us to follow it at our level? If we can reach that level, then it is a big deal. At his level, Dada says, we have given you the Aagnas, but they prevail naturally and spontaneously for us. We do not have to follow them. If you follow them, then based on that, you can remain as a self. We can constantly and continuously remain as a self, naturally and spontaneously. You can remain as a self by doing the spiritual effort of following the Aagnas. That natural and spontaneous state, the result of that will be, the Aagnas will prevail naturally and spontaneously, and you will be able to prevail in the form as the self. You will be able to remain in the state as the self constantly. It will be natural and spontaneous. By following the Aagnas, you can reach the state in which it is natural and spontaneous. Therefore, we must hold on to Dada's vision. Our goal should be to reach that level. We should follow the Aagnas and check them as well. What is Dada trying to say? For the topics on real and relative, there is a Dadavani magazine, and in the book Aptavani 12 Part-02, it is mentioned in chapter number 2. The importance of the Aagnas is also mentioned in the first chapter in the first half of Aptavani 12. And in Aptavani 12, there is matter about real spiritual effort. There are 2 parts on the Aagna of Vyavasthit in Aptavani 11. In the second half, the 5 Aagnas are discussed on the practical application of Vyavasthit. Clearing files with equanimity. This topic is discussed in the second part of Aptavani 12. It is a big chapter with about 100 to 150 pages. On the topic of the awareness of separation, there is matter in Aptavani 12. There are 100 to 125 pages in the first half of that section. There is also matter on how to remain as the knower and seer. So for the Mahatmas, Aptavani 12 is such that it has all the details for progressing further and doing the spiritual effort. Aptavani 11 and Aptavani 12. In fact, all the Aptavanis have beautiful matter in them. However, this is specifically for the Mahatmas, to help them progress in their spiritual effort. It is mainly in Aptavani 12, the first half and the second half. For understanding Vyavasthit, the matter is in Aptavani 11, the second part. But the main thing is that we have Dada's knowledge-laden speech. We have attained the vision. The awareness of the pure soul has set in. Based on that, we want to follow the 5 Aagnas precisely and master them. Even in this live satsang, we can take such questions. Where are we missing on applying the Aagnas? How can we reset them? After having heard it theoretically, we need to apply it practically. Every day, spare 15 to 30 minutes and check where the 5 Aagnas were missed. This is the biggest spiritual effort. The more we reset the Aagnas, we can make great progress. Our Jagrati will increase a lot. I can speak from my own experience. There were only 2 things that Dada had taught me, which were the ultimate. I don't know how, but Dada happened to say it casually, and it began within me. This occurred in the year 1973 or 74. Dada said, you should check daily where you missed out on following the 5 Aagnas. Then correct the mistakes that were made, ask for forgiveness, and then go to sleep. It started happening. Every night I would spend 30 minutes to an hour and see the pure soul in everyone. Vyavasthit, file, where was the equanimity missed? Whom did I see as being at fault? Where did I miss on seeing the pure soul? I would do all this setting and then make a firm determination to exactly remain in the Aagnas for the next day. What was the result of that? Dada said in 1977, the Jagrati that has arisen within you is of the highest kind. The second key that Dada had given me was to converse with Deepak, talk to him about all things, big and small. For example, if there are 2 friends staying together in a hostel, then how would they converse with each other? Similarly, you should converse with File 1 all day long. Just like a neighbor, Deepak is a statue which has arisen out of ignorance of the self. Today, we have attained this Gnan. So based on this Gnan, whatever mistakes happen by the ignorant one, make him do pratikraman. You are making a mistake. Ask for forgiveness. Ask for strength. Don't head in the wrong direction. Head in the right direction. Talk like you would to your neighbor with the awareness of separation. Where were the 5 Aagnas missed? And the awareness of separation. These 2 master keys that I got were such that it was through Dada's grace, the Jagrati remained at the highest level. Every day I would check where I missed out and then reset them. By doing this, the Jagrati reached an extremely high state. This same spiritual effort is open to everyone. So from today, let us continue doing this. Where were the Aagnas missed? Reset them. Make a strong determination to follow the Aagnas. Ask for energies. How can they be followed? How can there be exactness in following them? Keep setting that. Through satsangs, we get a lot of matter. We get the clarity through Niruma's satsang, Deepakbhai's satsang. Dada has revealed the entire science, but we keep getting more details on how to practically apply it from Niruma and Deepakbhai. It is here that we are messing up. If we correct it here, then we will be able to progress without any obstructions. Let us take the help of these satsangs and progress. Let us take some questions and progress in our spiritual effort of following the Aagnas. Jasubai from Ahmedabad. Patel Rita from Ahmedabad.
Jai Sachidanand.
Yes, go ahead.
I am Jasubai. To see the pure soul in a general sense, and specifically, please explain that in detail. What does it mean to see specifically?
Actually, it is not seen specifically. We see the pure soul within everyone in a general sense. What specifically means is, for example, if you are walking down the street and you see the pure soul in people one by one, that is called seeing specifically. Specifically means, if there are a bunch of trees and you think, oh, there are so many trees here, then you look at one and think, this is a neem tree, this is a basil tree, this is a banyan tree. To see them separately is called seeing specifically. In seeing specifically, we cannot see everything. Our concentration is only on one thing. Whereas when seeing things in a general sense, we can see lots of them. So if at home there are one or two people, then see their pure soul individually. While walking down the street, if you see a crowd of people, then see the pure soul in all of them in a general sense. Do you understand?
Niruma had said, "See how the person is a pure soul. How can anyone know in what way is the person a pure soul?"
It can be done. Do you see how Jasubai is separate or not? The thoughts that arise, they belong to Jasubai. They are not mine. The speech that is spoken is Jasubai's. It is not mine. The one that is eating is Jasubai. It is not me. I am the non-eater. I am separate. The one that is walking is Jasubai, not me. Similarly, see this in the other person, that Chandu is walking. The pure soul is just the knower and seer. When the knower sees the other person's knower, that is called seeing the pure soul of the other person. We can see up to that extent.
That means we should see the pure soul in a general sense and not specifically?
No, see the pure soul in a general sense as well as specifically. If you try to see specifically in a group, who is this? Who is that? Then you will miss out on the rest of the people in the group. So, when there is a group of people, then see it in a general sense. If you are alone and there are just one or two people passing by, then you can see the pure soul specifically. Instead of worrying about the words, general or specific, the main thing is to have the vision of seeing them as a pure soul. Do you understand?
My other question is, Dada has said, all these worldly things are such that they can stick to you. Therefore, before going anywhere, we apply oil so that nothing sticks to us.
That is a different matter. The point is, if you wear the protective armor of the Aagnas, then the worldly interactions will not stick to you. It is the armor of the Aagnas. Just like when you go to the market. What is on sale? How much can I get? Who is that lady? How is she? If you look for all that, then it will affect you. And if you think of her as a file, it is a file that has come up. And the subtler point beyond that is, watch what Jasubai is doing. What are Jasubai's eyes watching? What are Jasubai's ears listening to? What did Jasubai taste, see, smell? If your camera is on Jasubai, then things on the outside will not stick to you. The eyes will keep on seeing everything, and you should see what the eyes are seeing. Then you won't get engrossed in whatever gets seen through the eyes, because you are watching Jasubai. Dada was asked, Dada, you see the pure soul within me, then in what way do you see me? Dada replied, the eyes are seeing you, and I am seeing my own self. I constantly remain in the applied awareness as the self within. The eyes are the ones that see everything. I remain as the knower and seer of that. So where is it that we get stuck? It is when we become engrossed. Hey, what is this? The developing eye becomes engrossed with the one who is seeing. Why is it that one becomes lost while watching television? It is because whatever is seen on the television, in seeing that, the developing eye becomes engrossed with the seer. The developing eye cannot see the seer as being separate. It becomes so engrossed in watching television that the awakened awareness as the self surely cannot be maintained, whereas it can be maintained while eating and while watching. Actually, it is difficult to maintain the Jagrati while watching television, because it is difficult to keep separation from the seer. Nevertheless, not on television, but if you are watching things generally, things which do not interest you, there you can see the seer as being separate. In things of interest, you become one with the seer. Because of that oneness, the Jagrati gets missed. So if you decide before leaving that, I want to see the pure soul everywhere, then you can roam about in the entire market. Right now, in these 5 days that you are here, there is a good scope of practicing this. I want to see the pure soul everywhere. Whether it's in a small child or in a grown-up, a man or a woman. Is he a Mahatma? Who is he? How is he? Don't look for all that. Just see the pure soul in him. The volunteers will take care of him, whether he is a Mahatma or not. We should get into the practice of seeing the pure soul in everyone within these 5 days. And we should continue seeing the pure soul forever. And then, what does exactness mean? It means to remain as the knower and seer of Jasubai. How can I see Jasubai as separate? I, the seer, am a pure soul, just like you are a pure soul and Jasubai is separate. The more you experience yourself as being separate, that much you can experience the pure soul and packing of the other person as being separate as well. You can understand that.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Dada has said that if you don't remain in alertness while drinking tea, then the tea can also affect you.
Yes, that is because one becomes the drinker. Just as it is the eater that eats, it is the drinker that drinks. Tea, that is, nothing else. He drinks tea.
How can we maintain alertness for such small things?
Then, if in small things,
How can we maintain alertness in such small things like drinking tea?
why not? You should ask Jasubai, Jasubai, did you like the tea?
How can we maintain alertness while drinking water?
You can tell Jasubai, Jasubai, drink the water.
We drink water when we get thirsty.
Is it you who gets thirsty, or is it Jasubai that gets thirsty?
This alertness does not remain at all times.
It does not remain. That is your weakness, and you want to maintain it. That should be your firm resolve. Why should you fall short on making a firm resolve?
While eating, I have the awareness of the first 2 bites, who is the eater, and I see him. Then it all goes away after that,
That's all right.
because I'm hungry.
At least it remained for those 2 bites.
Then nothing is recalled.
As for the remaining 30 bites, the Jagrati will gradually last till the 3rd bite. In this manner, the Jagrati will increase. But we should at least have this as a goal. Dada says, if you follow one Aagna continuously, then a state of bliss will remain. So then, we should at least make a firm resolve to follow one Aagna continuously.
The firm resolve is indeed there, and I want to surely remain in the state of bliss. However, I'm not able to do so.
To not be able to do so is a weakness. You do recognize that you are not able to do so, right?
Yes, I know that.
Not like that. You may realize it 2 or 3 times out of 100. You don't realize it for the remaining 97
It's
times.
because there's a lot of filled stock inside.
It is not the fault of the filled stock. To see the filled stock as being separate is known as Gnan.
But it can only be seen when it comes forth, isn't it?
It is indeed coming forth every day. I am showing you the solution. What is the solution that you can apply? There are 2 solutions. First, are you retired? Do you have a job or a business?
Retired.
Retired. That means you can easily spare 8 to 10 hours of free time.
I am totally involved in this for most part of the day.
So now, what is it that you should do? You should divide the day into morning, afternoon, and night. Divide it into 3 parts. From the time you wake up in the morning till the afternoon, you should see what happened with Jasubai, his thoughts, his speech, his actions. If you don't want to see a lot, then see 2 things. What kind of speech was spoken and with whom? And in the actions, see where this spinning top traveled. He went to the bathroom. He sat by the door. He was gazing out the balcony. He came home and read the Gnan Vidhi. He sat on the swing. Would you not know all this?
Yes, the spinning top was spinning in the wrong direction, so I was stopping it many times, and I took a lot of beatings of doership because of that. So now I have to put an end to all that.
No, don't try to stop it.
I put an end to it all. Now I don't want to do any of this. Dada is stuck in my head even in the middle of the night, at any given time. I went into depression and took a lot of beatings. I'd met with Ketanbhai, an Aptaputra. Even he told me that negativity has come over me. I wake up in the middle of the night at 1:30 in the morning, all frightened and sweating. I get really perplexed by it. One night I woke my wife up and told her that this was happening. My son took my blood pressure. He's a doctor. But he said, "Dad, don't worry. You're all right. Just rest."
It is like this. Don't get into doership. The Aagnas are meant to be understood. Understand and set them. Just like the eater is the one eating. There is no doership in that. I indeed want to maintain the separation. I want to keep the eater as separate. If you get into that doership, then tension will arise and your nerves will be strained. Your blood pressure will shoot up. Be natural and spontaneous. Understand it and then remain alert. By doing so, the experience will arise.
The intellect within shows that if I keep understanding but don't apply it, I'll forget all of this.
No, keep on understanding it. You won't forget it. It is getting collected drop by drop within, and then the Jagrati will gradually increase. When the Jagrati is applied, as a result of that, the experience will increase. So just keep on understanding this and sleep peacefully. Don't remain in tension. Rita Patel.
Jai Sachidanand.
And then Vishal Dineshbhai Babra.
When is it considered as a misuse of the 5 Aagnas? Please explain.
Just use them. Don't worry about the misuse right now. If they are misused, suffering will arise, that's all, nothing else. Don't people say, I know everything is vyavasthit, but this definitely needs to be done. Now, on one hand you are saying, you know it's vyavasthit, and on the other hand you are saying, I need to do this. Therefore, that means that you have not understood vyavasthit correctly. You are just using the word vyavasthit through your intellect. It is vyavasthit, I know that, but why did he make such a mistake? He shouldn't have done that. He should have done this. When you are blaming someone as being the doer, there you have missed out on the Aagna of vyavasthit.
Got it.
Some people say, television is my file, I must watch it. The television is not the one that stuck to you, is it? You say, television is a file. If it is your aunt or your nephew that is coming, you get excited about it from today itself. Now, what have you got to do with that? You say, it is my file. It is someone's friend's son's wedding, and you get all excited about it. That is not considered as a sticky file. There are so many files like that, which you can cut off. The ones where you indeed have no choice is mandatory, that is considered as a file. So we are misusing words like this in a lot of places. The fault is of the sufferer. What can I do? He is the one suffering. It is indeed his fault. What can I do about it? Can you say that? Speech is not under anyone's control. It is your karmic account. That is why my speech is coming forth as harsh. What can I do about that? Hey, when you speak harshly and it hurts someone, you say, it is that person's fault that he got hurt because my speech is not under my control. So many such statements of Dada can be misused by the intellect. The jagrati that we want to maintain is, the moment the suffering arises, understand it is being misused. If you experience a state free of agitation and depression, then know that it is being used correctly. If you use a knife the wrong way, instead of cutting the tomatoes, it will cut your finger. So, when your finger starts hurting, wouldn't you understand that I seem to have accidentally cut the wrong way? If the tomato gets cut, then you don't feel hurt. Then it can be understood that the knife was used correctly. Similarly, if you use Gnan in the right way, then happiness will increase. And if it is used in the wrong way, then suffering will increase.
Jai Sachidanand.